Who the fuck is Rick the Jerk? Well, I'm a girl dad. My wife and I run a nonprofit where we help addicts and people in recovery.
Young black plastic, no man left behind!
I want to get another nonprofit going where I can go in and fix people's houses that are on low or fixed incomes, elderly, disabled, single moms. You know.
Done a good job. You can eat all the cock you want.
I got fruit snacks. I'm a handyman contractor. Actor. Musician. Musician. Hoarder. Felon. Drug addict. Thief. On paper. I had over 4 years of very active recovery, and I threw it all away over a bad couple of months. I am sober again, but just a few days ago, I had to plead guilty to yet another felony charge. I think I've lost count, but last time I checked, I think that's 5 in 8 years. How did this happen? What's the truth? Stick around and I'm gonna tell you. That is part of what I want this channel to be about. Not just about me, but about honesty, brutal honesty. How we got through the craziness and the heartache of the last couple of years that my family and I have been through, in hopes that maybe sharing some of our story might help other people. That is the other thing that I want this channel to be about, helping people. When I started my business, I used to do stuff for free or really cheap just to help people out that were in a tough spot. I missed that. So that I'm hoping with this channel we can grow a community where we can make that possible again. Not just here, but reach out even further. But not just with me going in and fixing people's houses and recording it, showing everybody, making dumb jokes. I can help you too. I got into this business because I couldn't afford to call a guy like me to come fix stuff. So I learned how to do it myself. And I did that when guys like me would pass on their knowledge to me, help me out, or watching their YouTube videos. So maybe from this channel you can learn how to do some stuff yourself too. But I got the whole story. I got all the tea. And it's good. You're not going to believe a lot of this stuff. I don't blame you. We went through it. And we don't believe half of it. Stick around, you might just learn something. And at the very least, hopefully be a little entertained. So all that being said, pertinent information out of the way, let's build my wife a deck. Oh, hi. I'm... He said the fuck words. Hi, I'm Rick the Jerk. Welcome to the voiceover portion of our film. There's me with our child. I'm going to apologize now. I am one of those dads that thinks my kids are the shit. Especially little baby Larry there. We call her Larry McNeivel. She's the bravest stuntman I've ever known. So, why this video? I have been filming for almost a year, I think. I've got quite a bit of footage stocked up, some big projects, some small projects. I was going to go with my first big project after getting sober again, but I chose this one because reasons. As I kind of alluded to, mental health is going to be a big point of topic on this channel, and here's where mine got affected on this one just a bit. I went to use my post hole auger, and the pin had been sheared off, apparently the last time I used it. Bastard. Now, with mental health being a big topic, I thought this would be a good project because my wife and I, who happens to be calling right now in the film, that's her, my wife. She had no idea I was working on a big surprise for her, leg swipe. Gotta watch out for those. Oh, dad sounds for days. I chose this video because my wife and I both struggle with our mental health a lot, and one thing that she has said would help her. It was that she had a nice little place she could sit in the backyard that we don't really use. We have not a big yard, we have a skinny yard, but it goes on like forever behind our house. Actually, I want to ask you guys something. So, I don't know how it is where you live, but around here, our property lines like come right up against each other. Like they pretty much touch. Is it like that where you live? Let me know in the comments below. And there's a lot of unused area back there because it gets pretty wet and can flood when it rains. So she said she'd like to have a deck, elevated platform is what she said. I tried explaining to her, honey, we have a word for that in the English language.
I did it.
Oh, here comes Larry. Wow. Amazing. Ah, she did it. That guy. So that's why we're working on the deck. Tell you what though, that fit. Man loves his country. He loves freedom. He's a patriot. I'm gonna pause for a moment because this little cute devil runs in here and steals the show. I'm just gonna let you enjoy. I'm building mommy a deck.
Oh! We're making a present.
It's a present for mommy, yeah?
Number?
No, it's a deck. A place to sit. Veranda. So brave. Very brave. Still brave. Nope. Small panic. She said, I'm not putting up with this guy and his loud crap. I'm getting the F out of here. And then she just struggles, like her father. I think she even made a comment. Speaking of other people and grounding, here's another person who should be grounded. Old Larry McNeivel. Now, I want to preface this next bit by saying that I have always tried to do my best to instill a very strong and wholesome sense of mockery in my children, all of my girls. And Larry is no exception. She, in fact, has probably been the star student when it comes to roasting people because, as the people's Jeff Ross always says, we roast the ones we love the most. And she's no exception to the rule. Here she's about to come in and really tear into old Dad's t-shirt. You'll know when it's about to happen because she says, "In that t-shirt!" And just let me have it. Let's watch.
What?
Okay.
What's that t-shirt?
Where am I?
Okay? Get a ring. Ring, get a ring. A ring, get a ring.
Yeah.
Hey, ring, get a ring. Is that looking at mother?
I'm building a deck for mommy.
Oh.
Oh. Let me show you. Show you what a deck looks like.
Ring, dirty. I
She's so stinking cute. She says crocodiles like tiger digles. Or rascal. Anyway. Oh. Say hi. Yep, that's about right. Yeah, that's pretty on brand for her. So, I may have mentioned before the backyard had a lot of roots in it. So I had to get the old Pulaski out and chop those up, dig them out with the spade, go in, round out the holes with the auger, and get some more dirt moved. This stuff's getting to be a lot harder. Not just as I age, but with the different conditions I've been battling. I've got carpal and cubital tunnel syndromes and neuropathy and a bunch of other crap. Sherman's kyphosis. It just makes work excruciating sometimes.
Comes crashing down and it hurts.
Doing stuff like that. And it's just, it's taken time away from my family, and when I'm home, I'm not the best me I want to be. And so that's something else that I'm hoping we can do with the YouTube channel, is make it just so I can be home more and not have to work as hard as I do. So I can enjoy stuff like this a little more often. This freaking kid.
Hey. Hey. I need to get down, Dad. I need to get down. Make it Zelda. Oh, really? Why?
Yeah.
My- I see it's trying that.
Okay. Hey, Pastrick, do something weird and creepy. That'll work. So you can see here, I routed out the sign for Mrs. Jerk with my router off camera, because heck you. So basically what you're looking at here is I have my predetermined lengths of 20 feet on either side for the deck, but to achieve the 20-foot length, what I had to do was go ahead and join two 10-foot boards. So I used these pieces, I put that cute little bevel on there, mirrored the pieces so they're pretty much identical, and then stained the one with the name in it there. Like I said, I would have liked a little more overlap, but it's stout enough for my purposes, and so is this dance routine. Oh god. Yeah, I saw that look, second guessing every freaking decision you ever made in your life. Actually, gang, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I might be the first man to ride an earth auger on YouTube like it was a pony. Let me know in the let me know what you think in the kringle-dingle. So dumb. Now, I apologize for all of this, and I don't apologize. I'm not sorry. Deal with it, losers. So what you see here is a man desperately trying to get this thing framed up. What I did there was I just cut these support posts to approximate length. I knew they were going to be long on purpose, tweaking the hole back there you can see. But the idea was to go ahead and frame it up before pouring the concrete. That way I could adjust it for square as needed. Stay tuned to find out how that worked out. You see here the dingus, even though he ran a line, didn't get his holes as straight as he wanted to. The story of my life. So I had to do some modifications there. I think I'd go back and fix that off camera later. And you also see me trying in vain to keep everything level as I go. Well, it looks like the transformation is coming along nicely. And what a metaphor. What a turn of phrase. Jesus, I hate myself. So another reason I chose this video, segues, is I thought it was a transformative choice. Here, you know, what a central theme. We're transforming the backyard for my family. Here I am transforming, you know, negative emotions, anxiety, depression, what have you, into something productive. Transforming an area that, you know, is currently a stressor for my wife at the time I was filming this unused portion of our yard into something usable. And that's you know what I kind of want the channel to mimic that too. I want it to be a transformative place. You know, somewhere where we can transform negativity into positivity, where we can transform bad days into good ones by coming for little yuck yucks. Like here's some yuck yucks for you. That idiot adjusted for square, and then he went around and redid some posts. So guess what's not square anymore? And it was getting late, and I think the next time we filmed was like a day or two later, so someone didn't think to go back and do stuff. Idiot. Hey gang, I got a fun idea. Let's play a game. Let's see if you can figure out where I screwed up before I figure out where I screwed up. Let me know in the tectonic shop. Say some words down there about it. Speaking of potential screw-ups, today's video is not brought to you by Julie. That's right, before you go digging post holes to put things in the ground, you call before you dig. Call 811 Julie Services to find out if you have any lines or ghouls or untapped sources of mana, non-indigenous troglodytes in your project area. Here I can be seen installing these joists the old-fashioned, newfangled way, with screws and nails and such. And then I got kind of tired of doing it like that, so this last one, it looked like it was going to be trouble anyway, so I just sort of magicked it into place with my sorcery skills, such as this. And you can too. You know, it's really not that hard, as long as your mana's charged up. You don't even have to be licensed to practice spells. You can, however, in my state, be cited for conjuring in public if you're not carrying any certification. So be sure to check all your local codes and ordinances to make sure that you are in compliance, especially if you intend on summoning any malevolent goblins or poltergeists, because that is a felony. That's a felony. There's no way around it. Fun fact for this next bit, I was actually establishing a shot where I was going to walk out in the middle of the deck and be like, oh, this all got done already, or some stupid crap like that. And in the process of setting up that shot, I realized something. Here, you can see it. Oh, there's the suspicion, the realization, and much regret. Did you guess what it was? That's right, joist hangers. Joist hangers are used for hanging joists, and while someone planned for and purchased them, he didn't use them the first time. So what a joist hanger is, kids, is think of it like a bracket that you hang a shelf with. It's like a shelf bracket, but for your joist. It's like a joist bracket, or a hanger, if you will. It's like a joist hanger. So joist hangers are just like joist hangers. What is he doing now? I mean, what I'm doing now is going around sanding off and staining all of these support posts. See, what I did was I cut them all flush with the finished surface of the deck. So I thought it would be kind of cool if they were the same level but a contrasting color, and thought that would be slick and snazzy and a nice fun way to show off my sort of skills. Then I caught my dog pooping in the ADHD one. What doing, Merica? Going pooping? Gonna go pooping? Going pooping? So, I had to put all this stuff here so we could do that for Father's Day and Baby D Day, wherever she went. There she is, sassing. Look at that sass. Hey D, happy 3rd birthday. So not only was it Father's Day and baby Larry's 3rd birthday, but the in-laws were out for a little travel and decided to stop by for a how do you do, and you'll see them in the coming shots as well. So here you see me taking my jigsaw and cutting out the notches that I marked with my jigsaw, Milwaukee jigsaw. This section of the video is just called feet. I think you know why. You filthy, disgusting perverts. Oh, that one's too tight. This is fun. Here you can see in real time as my father-in-law begins to question whether his stepdaughter married an idiot, and here I am confirming all of his suspicions as I over-explain why I overcomplicate everything. Anyway, pretty soon they leave, and it's just old jerk again. From here on out, it's pretty much a standard operating procedure. Just don't have your seams line up too close together, and stagger, stair step, whatever you want to do, alternate. I went for a sort of a swirly, symmetrical, spirally pattern, but oh, now it's time for just the tip. That's right, it's time for just the tip. So, we've got ourselves a situation here. When last we left our hero, he was laying out the deck boards and they were all just fine, but then one of them had crowned. A bow is when a board is like this and does one of those. A crown is when a board does one of those. It's maybe easier to understand looking at the footage. So what we've got going on here, if you look at it about the center of the frame, you can see this blazing gap in between the last two boards there. So what I've done is I have pre-drilled a couple of screws ready to go into my deck board and taken a piece of scrap here, which could have used another screw, honestly. Put it about 2/3 of a hammerhead length away from the board. And what I'm doing now is wrenching it between the board and my leg to hold it in place. Now watch that gap as I put pressure on it. See how it closes? So now what you do is you hold it in place with your leg while you go in and you get your screws that you already arranged prior to this activity to ensure maximum efficiency. And there you have just taken a curvy board and made it a more straighterly board. So now you just remove your scrap, and that's just a tip for the day from old Dad. You're welcome, friends. Wow, that fire in the background really transformed into a pile of crap, didn't it? Speaking of transformation, the theme of this video is transformative change or something. I'm sorry. Okay. More on transformative change in a moment, but I'm willing to bet, especially in the early days here, that if you found your way to my channel, a lot of you came from my buddy Mac's channel, Midwest Magic Cleaning. If you did, you already are pretty well versed in the topic of hoarding disorder. What Midwest Magic Cleaning is, for those of you that may not know somehow, you should definitely check them out. What he does is go in and clean out extreme hoarder houses for free. And they do a really thorough job, and the topics are frequently mental health, ADHD, autistic spectrum disorder, hoarding disorder, depression, all kinds of stuff. It's really, really entertaining and informative content. Mac has helped me in a lot of ways with this channel and personally, not the least of which helping me come to terms with my own hoarding disorder. And I already struggle with ADHD, bipolar, we're pretty sure autistic spectrum disorder, to name a few that, already make things complicated and difficult. And throwing that in there is just, it's too much stuff in the alphabet soup, The neurospicy has gotten too spicy at that point. And I see it play out with family members and people close to me too, and I'm trying to break the cycle. So this project symbolizes a lot in that for me, in a way, we've been hoarding this space in our backyard, just sitting on it, not doing anything with it, having all these intentions, never really seeing them through. I'm going to interrupt my diatribe here to point out that Mrs. Jerk and I both have a flair for the imperfect. We like things that other people may discard. In this case, naughty, undesirable deck boards that I thought were beautiful. I saved the 3 worst boards to make the centerpiece of the whole project, which is what I'm about to show you here. And I bring it up close to show. I know I got kind of I don't want to say cocky, but curious as to whether or not I could build this whole thing from the inside out. I knew how I wanted the outside to look. That's why I started there. I knew it would be like within half an inch when I got to the center, so I wasn't too worried about having to make any modifications to the planks. I did end up having to cut like barely a 1/4 inch off these 3 to make them fit, and then I took a 1/4 inch round over bit to go along the profile to give it that same profile that the 5/4 boards have. That's what I'm trying to show the camera here, how they're pretty much the same all the way around. But I tried to make it so that if you look at the deck, like from outside in, it gets more and more imperfect as it goes in, and there's like this kind of zigzaggy pattern to the planks too that you can see better from a low angle. But like I said, we were hoarding this space, and anytime I work on a project like this, especially with decks, I notoriously keep every single piece of scrap wood because I got big plans for it. I'm going to do something with it. It's usable. That's value to that. You can't just throw it away and all the other excuses that we make. You can look at these cool shots I did right here if you want. But see all these little pieces here? Even some of the small ones like that used to be a problem for me. I gotten away from those, but I still was struggling with things like holding on to building materials and all the usual stuff that you see with hoarding disorder. So I made a deal with myself that on this project I was not going to save any of the leftover wood because we gotta cut it out. I had to do that so slow to work because I was filming in time lapse when I did this. But even little guys like this, these little 6x6 squares, I used to save the crap out of those and make jigs. Tell myself I was going to do so much stuff with them and then never do anything. So I kept up my end of the bargain. There was no other end to it. It was just, hey Rick, don't keep all the wood this time. Maybe don't, okay? And so I didn't. But I want to take a minute to thank Mac for everything he's done for me, and he's supposed to kind of coach me through doing this YouTube stuff too, so a preemptive thank you for that. I wanted to mention that because I wouldn't have been able to get to that point if it wasn't for the content that he creates. I know our relationship and our dynamic, played a small part in that too, but we're not that close. He's just a peripheral figure in my life now. I'd like us to be closer. I think he's charming, funny, a douchebag, a real piece of shit. All things I look for in a friend. But I wouldn't have got to this point if it wasn't for Mac. So thank you, Midwest Magic Cleaning family, for what you've done for me personally. Not to mention the other people, that thousands of people you help every day, if not more. If you are a fan of Midwest Magic Cleaning and you found your way here and you think this content is derivative, let me know in the comments below. And if you made it this far, don't forget to subscribe on your Skypes down in the hit thing and make a boo. And you'll see more. And if you enjoyed this at all, come back, because there's more to tell. We've only itsy bitsy scratched the surface about all the changes going on in our life right now and the stuff that led to it. Once we start really digging into that, that's going to be some, that's going to hurt. That's going to get raw. That's going to be some, I'll make and lose some friends over that stuff, I'm sure. So stick around. Stay tuned, sports fans. This next one's going to be a doozy. You'll hear such old favorites as the boost peddling former Disney employee that's ruining my life. How I pled guilty to something I did or didn't do, and why. Tales of corporate espionage. The breakneck roller coaster of a thrill ride that is the world of RD and USDA housing? I'm not even kidding. The most insane, crazy, exhilarating, terrifying, and just slobber knocker of a wild time job I've ever had in my life was working for the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Rural Housing Development Department of the income-based departments in the Midwest. But I digress. Mrs. Jerk hadn't decided on a finish at the time of discovering that I had built her deck, but she has since told me that she would like to burn it. So, I mean decoratively, not utilitarian, not in the sense of burning it down. She'd probably I'd like to do that. I'd like to burn it to the ground. But she would like it Shosugiban burned, something we got into for a while there, and then I kind of got away from it, but now she's wanting more of it again. So guess we're going to make the deck all roasty toasty. Here's a nice artistic shot of the trees and the sun to close out our video. Look for part 2. Here I was all concerned about having enough to say to fill a 16 to 22 minute video, and now I'm fucking recording videos in post. If you made it this far, thank you. Dude, please hit a button somewhere. I know I've said that a few times, but I'm told that you're supposed to do that. So there's going to be more stuff coming. Hopefully, by the time I launch this, we'll have, videos lined up to be released weekly. But it's not just going to be this kind of time-lapsey stuff. There's going to be how-to videos, characters. There's going to be character bits and skits and sketches for your chuckles and your yucks. I've got to get Larry involved more. She stole the show in this video for sure. I don't know. Kind of in true last name fashion. We're playing her by rear. Winging it. Improvising. We're making shit up as we go. Thanks for watching. And if nobody else has told you, I'll tell you. And baby Larry will tell you. It's okay. You did a good job.
Good job, Daddy.
Thank you, baby.